This is Jarrod Horak. This is my final Keeneland Fall Meet Stakes video for 2023. I've been doing these videos at Keeneland each week, and for this video, I'm going to do the Bryan Station Stakes, and that's for closing day at Keeneland, Saturday, October 28th. And then the next day, Churchill Downs opens, and I will be doing on my road to the 2024 Kentucky Oaks and Kentucky Derby video series. I'm going to cover the Rags to Riches and the Street Scent Stakes. So stay tuned to my YouTube channel later this week for those videos, and then stay tuned to a lot of Breeders' Cup coverage as we get closer to the 2023 Breeders' Cup. Speaking of the Breeders' Cup, if you head on over to todaysracingdigest.com, click on their Breeders' Cup page, and you'll find all of the Breeders' Cup handicapping articles that I've written there. I did a series for Breeders' Cup handicapping angles for all 14 Breeders' Cup races. I've been doing sires to watch, jockeys to watch, trainers to watch, and much more. So head on over to todaysracingdigest.com, click on their Breeders' Cup page, and you can read all of my Breeders' Cup handicapping articles. And if you're interested in my Breeders' Cup full card analysis, my annual 2-day Breeders' Cup full cards will be available Breeders' Cup week at the runawayhorse.com on my sales page. And the Breeders' Cup's at Santa Anita this year, November 3rd and 4th. You can pre-purchase those products now. Just go over to the runawayhorse.com for more details. Been covering these Breeders' Cup full cards for many years, a lot of success, and hopefully at a track that I cover every day, Santa Anita Park, I'll have a very good 2023 Breeders' Cup. And now we're going to get into the analysis of this Keeneland Stakes race. 8th race at Keeneland, Saturday, October 28th, 2023, Grade 3, $300,000 Bryan Station Stakes for 3-year-olds traveling 1 mile on the turf course, and the scheduled post time, 4:44 p.m. Eastern Time. Talk of the Nation for trainer Shug McGahee, a quality road colt. Starts off the field. He's number 1 at 5-2 with Jose Ortiz in the irons. This one's run 7 times with 4 wins in 2 seconds. So on turf, he's never finished out of the exacta. And at this distance, he has 4 starts with 2 wins and 2 runner-up finishes. He broke his maiden in a dirt sprint at Aqueduct last fall. Then he misfired in a 1-mile dirt race at Gulfstream Park second time out. They moved him over to the turf course. And on the turf course in his last 5 turf routes, 3 wins, 2 runner-up finishes. Back-to-back wins at Tampa Bay Downs earlier this year, including a nice victory in the Columbia Stakes where he stalked and he took over and he won nicely. And in his next start in the Jersey Derby, he stalked, he led, he was second by a length there. The Grade 3 Manila Stakes, More Than Looks, who's in this race, defeated him there. And he battled on the pace and he was second. And then in the Gunrunner Stakes last time out at Kentucky Downs, he was able to stalk from second and hold on and win by a half length after taking the lead in the stretch. So Talk of the Nation probably will save ground stalking the pace. Gigante is number 2 for trainer Steve Asmussen. This is a not this time colt. Joao Rosario is aboard. He's 12-1 morning line. He's run once at Keeneland, and he did not finish in the top 3. He does like this distance, 3 starts with 2 wins and a 3rd place finish. In the Virginia Derby at 1 mile and an 1/8 last time, he showed a little bit of late interest. He was 6th, beating a little less than 5 lengths in that 9-horse field. He was 9-1. The Grade 2 Secretariat Stakes at Colonial Downs prior to that Virginia Derby, he won that race rallying from off the pace by a neck at 22-1 odds. So he's going to be a price in here, and he's going to try to get involved from off the pace. He had a bullet workout at Keeneland on the turf course on October 17th. 5 furlongs on a good turf, 102 and change, best of 5. Dude in Colorado is one of the horses that should be up on the pace. This is a son of Uncle Mo, and Todd Pletcher is the trainer, and Flavien Prat will ride for the first time. He's 0 for 1 at Keeneland. He's had 2 starts at this mile distance with a win and a 3rd place finish. He was 3rd last time at 1 mile in the Caesar Stakes that was at Horseshoe, Indianapolis, where he chased from 2nd, and he was best of the rest in 3rd. He faced Mo Stash, a horse he's going to face in here in the Grade 3 Transylvania, and he was up on the pace and he weakened to finish 8th. He did win the Colonel Liam Stakes at 1 mile at Gulfstream Park earlier this year, chasing from 2nd and winning by a half length. So he's one that he's going to be forwardly placed, but he's going to have to run faster and elevate his game. Smokey Mandate is one of 2 runners for trainer Mike Maker. This is a strong Mandate gelding, and he's 9-2 morning line with James Graham aboard. 6 starts with a win, 2 seconds, and a 3rd, so he's still eligible for an entry-level allowance race. 3 starts at this distance, no wins, 2 seconds and a third. He is on the improve. He was second by a head in May in a maiden special weight race from post 11. That was at Horseshoe, Indianapolis. And then at that same venue, he was able to break his maiden, chasing from second and pulling clear and winning by almost 6 lengths. He was 3-2 in that race. In his last 2 stake starts in the Gun Runner Stakes, he was 17-1, and he set the pace and he finished third. Talk of the Nation won that one, a good effort there. And then in his last start in the Jefferson Cup, More Than Looks was able to defeat him there. But he stalked and he led, but he couldn't hold that one off, and he was able to finish a clear second at 8-1 odds. So I think just based on the way that he typically runs, and especially last time he had some good success, and in his maiden win, he chased from second. I think that's probably what they're going to want to do. Probably chase and then try to get the first run. Mo Stash is next. He's number 5 for Vicky Oliver. This is a Motown colt. He's 12-1 morning line. And Luis Saez is going to ride 10 starts, 2 wins, 3 runner-up finishes, 3 starts at Keeneland with a win and a second, and 3 starts at this distance, no wins, and 1 runner-up finish. He was 6th in the Franklin Simpson, a grade 2. That was at Kentucky Downs last time out at 6.5 furlongs, where he stalked and he split a 12-horse field. Before that, the Secretariat Stakes, he set the pace and he weakened. The American Derby, he set the pace and he finished second. That was a mile and a 16th. The American Turf, he set the pace and weakened to 4th. And then in the Transylvania Stakes, he set the pace there and he just kept on going. And then go back to the Columbia Stakes against Talk of the Nation. He was up on the pace, he led, and he couldn't hold off Talk of the Nation, but he did hold second. So he's going to be all over the pace. There's just no doubt about that. Number 6, Runaway Storm, is another one that should be up on the pace. In the Virginia Derby, he set the pace. He finished 3rd. In an entry-level allowance race before that, he won that one. And then before that was his big maiden win. And in those races, his maiden victory at Laurel Park at a mile and an 1/8 on turf, and then at Horseshoe, Indianapolis at a mile and a 16th. In those 2 races, a maiden and entry-level allowance race, he wired the field. He won nicely. And then stepping up to face Stakes Company in that Virginia Derby last time at a mile and an 1/8, he just couldn't quite see out that distance. He ended up finishing 3rd. So look for him under Colby Hernandez to be all over the pace. Worthington, a 20-1 long shot for trainer Mike Maker. This is a classic Empire colt. Raylu Gutierrez is going to ride, and he's had 10 starts with 2 wins, 4 third-place finishes. He's 1 for 1 at Keeneland, and he seems best at 1 mile. 6 starts with 2 wins and 3 third-place finishes. He was 3rd last time behind More Than Looks in the Jefferson Cup. He rallied from 10 lengths back in 7th to finish 3rd there. He was 25-1. He was 55-1 in his Ellis Park Stakes race prior to that, and he set the pace and he finished 11th. That's not his game. I don't think he really wants to set the pace. I think what he did last time worked well, and I think maybe that's what they're going to try to do again. In the Canterbury Derby, he ended up finishing 3rd, stalking the pace. The Caesars, he was 7th. The Rushaway, he was 6th. So he's one that if he can just run back to either his Canterbury or Jefferson Cup races, I think that's probably good enough for him maybe to get somewhere in the picture and get a minor award, especially if the pace heats up. Santorini is 30-1 in here. He's number 8. A Twirling Candy colt for Rodolphe Brissett. Alex Achard is the rider. 8 starts, 2 wins, a 2nd and a 3rd. No starts at Keeneland, and he's 1 for 3 at this 1 mile distance. That victory was last time out in an entry-level allowance race at Kentucky Downs. He chased from 2nd, and he won by a neck. So now he's going to step up and face Stakes Company. He was 3rd in the Rushaway Stakes earlier this year. And in the Curtin Liam Stakes, his other stakes start, he was 6th. Duden, Colorado, who's in this race, ended up winning that one. So he's really looks like an outsider in this spot. More Than Looks, 9-5. He's your morning line favorite. This is a more than ready colt. Cherie DeVoe, John Velasquez. This is the same jockey trainer team that I picked on top in the grade 2 Raven Run with Vava, and that one got the job done last weekend. So it's that same jockey trainer team here trying to win another stakes race at Keeneland. I believe that was Cherie DeVoe's. Vava was her first graded stakes winner at Keeneland, and it looks like she's got a good shot in here to pick up another one. This one's 4 for 7 with a 2nd and a 3rd. 1 start at Keeneland with a runner-up finish, and 4 starts at this distance, 2 wins, a 2nd and a 3rd. He's a good late runner in a race that should have pace to chase. He broke his maiden in an all-weather route at Gulfstream. That was earlier this year. And then switching to turf, He ended up missing by a neck, rallying from last in a 12-horse field, where he missed by a head, actually. And then he won by a neck in his next start at Ellis Park, an entry-level allowance race, rallying from 7th in a 10-horse field. The Grade 3 Manila Stakes, he went last to first, went right past Talk of the Nation, and he won by a length and a half. Johnny V rode him for the first time that day, and Johnny V was back aboard in the Grade 2 Hall of Fame Stakes, and he rallied from the back of the pack. He finished third, but Carl Spackler, one of the top, if not the top 3-year-old colt trained by Chad Brown, was able to just win that one nicely. More Than Looks wasn't embarrassed there. He rallied to finish a decent third. And then the Jefferson Cup, he had some time off from August 11th to September 30th. And in that 1-mile race at Churchill, he rallied from 11 lengths back to win going away by more than 2 lengths. So if the pace heats up, he's going to be a big late threat. The 10 Appraise, 8-1 morning line for trainer Chad Brown. 6 starts, 2 wins, 2 runner-up finishes. No starts at Keeneland, 3 starts at 1 mile with 2 runner-up finishes. And this Kodiak colt, with Tyler Gaffalione aboard for the first time, needs to improve off of his Gio Ponte effort last time, where he ran last in a 5-horse field at Belmont, and he was the favorite that day. Prior to that, in the Hall of Fame, he was up on the pace. He ended up finishing second. He was all over the pace in an entry-level allowance win, and last year he had finished second in the Summer Stakes. That was his best effort as a 2-year-old. So he's one that likes to get up on the pace. I don't think this outside post is really going to do him any favors. So looking at this one, I can't go past More Than Looks. I'm going to go with that same jockey trainer team that I picked on top in the Raven Run. I'm going with Johnny V and Cherie DeVoe, and I'm going with More Than Looks as my top choice. I just think that the race shape seems to be in his favor. If it plays out like it looks on paper, I think you're going to see an honest pace, and you're going to see More Than Looks. If he runs his best races, he's just going to run past these. He's the best closer in this field. So More Than Looks is going to be my top choice in the 2023 Bryan Station closing day at Keeneland on Saturday, October 28th. Talk of the Nation, number 1, my second choice. I'm going to go with a long shot for my third choice, the 7 Worthington for Mike Maker. He's 20-1, and I think he can get a piece of this. And then Mike Maker's other horse, Smokey Mandate, number 4, will round out my top 4. So for the Bryan Station, my top 4, 9, 1, 7, 4. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment if you like this horse racing content. Again, I'll be back with those Churchill Downs Stakes races for Sunday, October 9th, October 29th later this week on my YouTube channel. So check out those. And I got some more Breeders' Cup 2023 videos coming this way as well. I did a Breeders' Cup Friday preview, and then I also did a Breeders' Cup Classic preview that you can watch. And I'm going to be doing more Breeders' Cup Classic previews and more Breeders' Cup videos overall. So keep checking out my YouTube channel as we get closer to the 2023 Breeders' Cup. And until I see you next time, good luck at the races.